Hi, hello, architecture aspirants. Welcome back to CCCube Academy, premier academy for coaching architecture and all design based competitive exams. At CCCube Academy, we intend to help you towards a focused learning process and to prepare you well for all the competitive exams like Nata, JEE Paper 2A, and for other entrance exams like UCET, DAT for taking admission in premier institutions offering BR, BDES, B Plan programs in the country. As a part of the effective preparation for NATA and JEE Paper 2A, this new series, Arches in Architecture, is discussed in three parts. Today, in this video, we are about to discuss the second part, that is, types of arches, and in the next part, we will discuss the important questions based on arches. Come, now let's get into the video and check out the various types of arches in architecture. The arches are a beautiful building elements that has been around for thousands of years and can be presented in many forms. Here are the most important of them for you to recognize. Functionally, an arch is used to support loads from above and distribute them evenly. It is an integral part of the architecture of opening into different spaces. An arch could be a semicircle or a segment or pointed or even non-circular. In fact, arches can be distinguished from one another based on shape, based on materials used in construction, and based on the number of centers. First, let us see all the different types of arches based on shape. There are many arches based on shape found in the modern world and throughout architectural history, and the most popular and interesting arches are presented here for our preparation purposes. Pointed arch. This arch is also known as Gothic arch, is often used to describe arches with a pointed shape. Two circle arcs are carried by the pointed shape arch, and when they meet at the apex, a triangle is created. Horseshoe shape arch. The shape resembles a horseshoe that is more curved than a semicircle. Flat arch. The flat arch creates an equilateral triangle inside introduce as a base at a perspective of 60 degrees. The flat arch is usually applied for the development of mild load structures. A segmented arch is a type of arch where the arc of a circle is less than 180 degrees. This type of arch is recognized as a Syrian arch. The Romans were the first to invent the segmental arch. A segmented arch is a traditional type of arch used in buildings where the center of the arch is below the spring line. In the segmental arch, the thrust is carried out obliquely towards the abutment. Semicircular arch. A semicircular arch in the center is placed on the spring line. In a semicircular arch, the thrust is transmitted completely to the stop in the vertical direction. A semi-elliptical arch is a semi-elliptical shape with 3 or 5 centers. This type of arches is also called basket handle arches. Parabolic arch. The internal compression is used to create the parabolic curve which gives the arch the final shape. These arches have the most thrust at the base. They also have a great deal of distance between the end of the arch. Ogee arch. An arch with a pointed apex formed by the intersection of two S-curves that curve in opposite senses so that the ends are parallel. It was quite a popular design in the 13th century English architecture. Venetian arch. The crown is deeper than the spring line. The Venetian arch is another form of the lancet arch. Next is Florentine arch. The inner curve of the arch is in the shape of semicircle, while the rest of it is similar to a Venetian arch. It has three centers and they are all located on the springing line. Stilted arch. A stilted arch is a type of arch where the bend begins above the mullion line. This arch contains a semicircular arch with two vertical parts on the spring. Relieving arch. This type of relieving arch is made over a flat arch or a wooden lintel. The main purpose of this type of arch is to give it more power. The ends of these arches should fit snugly against the abutment. Next, let us see the types of arches based on materials used for construction. Stone arches. There are two types of stone arches commonly used in construction: ashlar arches, rubble arches. Brick arches are one of the popular types of arches used in construction. This type of arch is installed using existing bricks. Cement mortar is used in the construction of brick arches. There are three main types of arches made from bricks as the main building material. They can come in any of these shapes above. Concrete is used for fairly large arches like those used to support interstate overpasses. They can support large spans due to the strength of concrete and the steel rebar that runs within it. Steel arches are the strongest type of arches, easily the most durable and flexible in size and shape. There are two types of stone arches commonly used in construction. They are ashlar arches and rubble arches. Now let us see what is ashlar arch. To form the arch, the stone is cut into the desired shape and processed accordingly into the tapered wedges known as osiers. Ashlar refers to the blocked shape of the rectangular stone. Rubble arch. In the past, weaker rubble arches were created without shaping the stones first. They were built with randomly shaped stones joined together with rudimentary cement. These are weak and not used in modern times. Rough brick arches are not very attractive and are typically used internally where the brick is not exposed to the visitors. Gauged brick arch. The soft bricks are gauged to exact specifications for the osier elements of the arch, often cut with a wet saw or wire saw. Time is often taken to decorate these bricks and are a sign of true craftsmanship. Bricks are less finely produced to shape. They are cut with the brick axe and are a bit more rough in appearance, with gaps and pits filled with lime when the bricks are placed. Concrete arch. Concrete arches are widely used in modern construction such as tunnels, circular buildings, etc. It can be precast concrete arches or cast in situ arches. Concrete arches provide high durability. Steel arches are the strongest type of arches, easily the most durable and flexible in size and shape. The third way of distinguishing types of arches are based on number of centers. The aforementioned descriptions make it clear that a single arch can have more than one center. One-centered arch. Arches have only one specific center. Segmental, semicircular, flat, and horseshoe arches are some examples of this type. In fact, a properly circular arch called a bull's eye arch, which is also a one-centered arch. Two-centered arch. Two-centered arches simply have two centers. The lancet arch, Gothic arch, or pointed arch is classified into two central arches. Semi-elliptical arches also fall into this category. Three-centered arch. Semi-elliptical arches and Florentine arches have three centers on the springing line. These are similar to segmental arches, but the extra center gives it an elliptical look. Four-centered arch. Venetian and Tudor arches are an example of four centers on the springing line. These have a depressed arch which is low and wide with a pointed top or apex. And finally, five-centered arch. This type of arch has a total of five centers, allowing for a proper semi-ellipse shape. Yes, with this we have come to an end of part 2, different types of arches in the series of arches in architecture. In the next part, we will be discussing the important questions with answers based on arches in architecture. For more informative videos like this, stay tuned with CCCube Academy by subscribing our channel, like, share and comment your feedback in the comment section. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned with CCCube Academy for more insights on Nata and JEE Paper 2A preparation. Wishing all of you the very best for your preparation.